Hey guys, so this is second day saddling with Diablo, and I already saddled him, moved him around, and now we're gonna get on him. We're gonna see about a first ride. I don't always walk, trot, lope in the first ride, but I like to. But today there's like 20-mile-an-hour gusts, and I'm wearing this little scarf which kind of likes to flick a little bit, and so if it doesn't feel like loping's in my best interest, I probably won't. If you watched yesterday's video, I barely stepped up on him, so any being on him and moving around would be progress. So we're more after progress than some set checkpoints. I would like to lope him, but he's got a lot of brace, so just moving out at the walk and trot would be nice. What you're gonna see is I do one of two things. I send it or I bend it. So if he gets bothered, wants to buck, wants to rough, I'm going to bend him. This is where you'll find out if your groundwork's good enough, because if you cannot physically bend your horse and move their hind end around, then your groundwork's not good enough. Your groundwork doesn't mean, let's say this, to say your groundwork is good enough doesn't mean they'll never spook. They might. They probably will. So some people think your groundwork being good means there's going to be no adversity in this first ride. I don't believe that. And even the ones that do a year of groundwork will send a horse to someone like me and say, well, I can't get hurt. But they'll say, I did all the groundwork. So even they know there's a risk involved. So what my job is to teach horses how to be ridden as quickly as I can, but also the best I can. So if it needs to take a couple more days, it will. But preferably, I can just get them where they understand it. So I haven't stepped up in the stirrup at all today. So we'll just kind of check on that. We'll see what he's thinking there. I try to have him on a fairly loose rope, but short enough that if I will just bend him here. So if I can disengage him like this, then I'm getting pretty close to being able to get on, because I'm up there. He's a little worried. When I pull, his hip moves away. That's a good sign that I can get it done if he gets bothered. So we'll just check that out again. Good. If he wants to leave, we'll just bend him. Good. So what a person can do is they can get on and off a bunch of times and get that horse used to the mounting. Or you can get up here and be ready if you need to bend one. So I've got my rein, which is keeping me from going out the back, and then I've got the back of my saddle keeping me from going out the front. Now I want my horse forward enough that he doesn't think run backwards and flip over on me, because that's one of the biggest worries. The bucking is not as worrisome to me as one that runs backwards or wants to go straight up in the air. So we'll just keep encouraging a little movement here. Good. Now I'll just cluck, add my legs, and you might think, well, that horse doesn't know what those legs mean. That's right. But if I add a little leg and I'm bumping, and then I cluck, and then I'm just helping make it uncomfortable to stand still, and then I release. Well, we're teaching on the first ride. When I bump you with my legs, I want you to move forward. Good. Another good alternative is you bump with your legs and then somebody on the ground pushes you out. This horse is a little less forward than I thought he'd be. So we might take our backup plan here. We'll get a little behind the drive line. I'll bump. There we go. There, he says, oh man, I might better step forward. Kick, tap. There, we're getting forward motion now. He's a bit of a scaredy cat, but I don't want to snatch him right there, because he didn't try to buck me off. He just saw something outside the round pen, and he thought it was worrisome, so he had a little startle. That's okay. If he wants to go forward, I'll let him if it feels pretty safe and he's not trying to buck. He's a little upright right now, meaning he could hump up a little. Encourage a little trotting, little tap on the butt. He says, I might just kick at that. I'll try again. Good. There was a little trot. Good. Try again. says, I don't like that, but he trotted. So I was able to give him a little reward for that. Pretty good. So you can see we're just teaching this horse that bumping the legs, like I'll start here, means go forward. If he does it, we're going to do a little more because I've already tapped him in the butt on the ground. So if you don't have your backup plan of being able to bend this horse, you wouldn't want to get on. I know if things get a little hairy, I'm going to pick up and I'm going to say, hey, move your hind end over. And you haven't seen me practice it much because I'm pretty sure I can do it. So I haven't really worked on it much because the more I do it, the more I bend this horse, the less forward he's going to be. There we go. Good. Real nice. Very nice. Good. So like I said, if he was a little more forward, I'd probably lope him to the left. But the problem is, I don't know if I can. I think he's a little too braced today to lope him to the left. I could do it. Like if I had to get it done, I could do it. But I don't have to get it done. So we'll switch to the other side. We'll be ready for this changing eyes because he might have to get a little bothered. He's already seen me up here because I've ridden him a fair bit on loose rope. But good. Bend his butt a little bit. Good. Okay, now we'll move out a little bit. Get a little uptight. I can pull him in a little circle, soften that nose. He's not as soft as I'd like, but in a few days he will be. There. Good. Real good. So when a horse doesn't have a lot of forward, I'm going to work on that and I'm going to try to bend them less. If they're really forward, I'm going to have no problem getting lope. I'm going to walk, trot, lope right away. I'm going to be happy with it. And then I'm going to work on bending them and slowing them down and making them think about stop. Good. So you see this horse experimenting with kicking at me like I'm a fly on his back when I tap him. So if I really got mad and walloped him right there, he'd probably blow up. I'm just nagging this one. I'm not saying this is the way I do it on all of them, but on this one today, I'm just nagging a little so that so I don't want to put in a trauma response really, so if I don't have to do a bunch more, I'm not going to. So I'm pretty happy with that today because like I said, you know, he's just in 2nd or 3rd grade now, so I don't need to do a bunch. I know I'll be loping either tomorrow or the next day, and I can get off this horse while nothing bad has happened to him, and he can say, oh, well, that wasn't too bad of a deal. So this is an example of a first ride. This isn't how every first ride goes. Like I said, I'd like to lope him, but we kept him in a pretty good place mentally. I kind of hoped he'd buck once or twice so you guys could see it, because look, they do. Mine do all the time. So we'll get a few more first ride videos for you guys, because like sometimes they buck, sometimes they run off a little, and you need to see what happens when that happens. I just pick up and pull their nose around, and if I don't get their nose pulled around, then my groundwork wasn't good enough. So that's first ride for Diablo. So hopefully that helps some of you guys. Just remember, if you get in a jam, just bend it.